Hello fellow plastic throwers, this is Fulcrum, and in today's Airsoft review we're going to be taking a look at the ASG CZ P09 Airsoft gas blowback handgun. Now the handgun comes in this really nice swanky little pistol case with the foam inside to protect it as well. This handgun's got a plastic frame and a metal slide, and it's got a really nice weight to it. It doesn't weigh an absolute ton, but it also doesn't feel like a toy at the same time. And it just feels incredibly good to hold. It just feels nice and solid. There's no real rattle or wobbles. It's really nice and really well built, and it is also fully licensed with the Czech logo on it too, which is really nice. We all like a good bit of licensing, and yeah, it just looks the part, and it's really nice. Now the weight of the P09 is 0.6 kilograms, which is 1.2 pounds. Now of course that's unloaded, you put a magazine into the mix and it goes up to 2 pounds, which is 0.9 kilograms. The length of this handgun is around about 8.5 inches, which is just shy of 22 centimeters. And for height it's round about 6 inches tall, which is roughly 15 centimeters. For controls you have a non-ambidextrous button style magazine release. And on the back of the gun on both sides you have an ambidextrous safety, although this will only work if the hammer is cocked back. And on the left side of the gun in front of the safety you have your slide release. Now your trigger is your bog standard curved trigger, which I prefer over a straight trigger. I can't stand those things. And similar to the P-09 that we looked at before, this has both a double action and a single action mode. If the gun isn't already cocked, pulling the trigger will cock the hammer back and then fire it. And if the hammer's already cocked, it then goes into single action mode. And on the front of the gun, on the underside of the frame, you have a nice little rail here to allow you to put on torches, tack lights, hell, even a foregrip if you want for some reason. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any sort of suppressor adapter, so if you do want to put a suppressor on it, you're going to have to print something or buy something that will allow you to slide over the vis rail to give you the suppressor thread here. Your iron sights are your typical front post rear notch sights with 3 little white dots to add a bit of contrast. And on the bottom of the grip at the back, you also have a lanyard loop to allow you to put your pistol lanyard through it. Now to strip the slide off to access the hop unit, you want to pull it as far back as it will go, and then you want to push back on this pin here which holds the slide release in, and then you should be able to wiggle it out like so, and then the slide should come forward. Your hop unit can be adjusted with this little flathead screw here, and unlike say the WE hop units, this hop unit seems to actually work out the box, and it's actually really good. We've got it set on 2.5s and it launches them just fine. It's not like the WE hop units where even when they work, they're not really the best hop unit. This seems to be perfectly acceptable, and a mate of mine who's also got one of these hasn't got any problems with it either, so I don't think this is a magical one in a sea of lemon pistols. I think it actually is a decent hop unit. And then to reinstall the slide, you slide it back on, you take your magazine release, and you pop it in like so. You might have to rack it back, and there you go. Now performance wise, we found the range of this handgun isn't that bad, probably because the hop unit actually works. And in the brief time that I used this handgun, because it's technically my father's, but he gave it to me once when I was getting the right arse with another gun, and I found that the range of it was incredibly good. In fact, I'd say it would go toe to toe with your typical 350 FPS full auto UK compliant airsoft gun. Round about 60 odd meters, maybe slightly less because it's got the shorter barrel, and you know, just trying to estimate the ranges. And it's quite accurate over that distance, even for a handgun. Probably because again the hop unit's nice and stable. You don't have to worry about any inconsistencies that will throw your shot off. And also, if I remember correctly, the gas efficiency isn't too bad either. And that day wasn't particularly good for gas blowbacks. It was quite humid and cold, and I think it was slightly windy as well, so you get a bit of wind chill. I can't remember what time of the year it was, but it was earlier on in the year. And yeah, it still worked fine. It locked on empty, and I can't remember what gas we were using. Probably propane, although the propane we've been using doesn't seem to be that much cop, so I'm not sure it's down to the propane, but it worked perfectly fine and I couldn't fault it at all. Now at this point you're thinking, well, why haven't you chronoed it? Well, I don't know where the bloody hell my chrono's gone. It's vanished. I have no idea. I generally don't know. It'll turn up though eventually, hopefully. Gun to my head, required to give a guess of the velocity of this. I would say probably 320 on a .2. That near as makes no difference, 320, which is perfectly fine. I mean, of course it varies depending on what gas you've got in and the temperature and all that, but it's perfectly fine when we used it, and it seemed to be more than powerful enough to engage targets out to quite a ridiculous range with a handgun. So would I recommend the ASG CZ P09 Airsoft gas blowback handgun? Well, this one seems to be alright, and the one my best mate's got, it's got quite a few miles on it. He's used it quite a bit, and it's still working very well. It's still going strong, and the hop unit seems to be very good too. So I don't think this one's a one-off, like in regards to how the hop unit works. So judging by that, yeah, I say I'd recommend this if you want a nice little Czech handgun which will do you well and looks really good, I'd say, and also it's really comfortable to hold. Then get yourself one of these, the ASG CZ P09, and I think you'll do alright with it. So that's it for this review. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it at any point or found it useful, then make sure you leave a like. And if you've got any further questions about this gun, then please make sure you leave them down in the comments. And if you don't want to miss out on any new Airsoft content, then please make sure you subscribe and enable notifications. And as always guys, play fair, play safe, take care.